A law was made a distant moon ago here. July and August cannot be too hot. And there's a legal limit to the snow here in Camelot. The rain may never fall till after sundown. By 8 the morning fog must disappear. In short, there's simply not a more congenial spot for happily ever aftering than here in Camelot. Hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome to another week 26 of Arielle's Acoustic Happy Hour with me, Arielle Silver. In case that's not obvious. Looking good and sounding great on YouTube. Oh, good. Thank you, Robert. Good. Good. Hello. So, another week 26. Let's see here. What do we have for today? How are you today? How was your week? Always constantly events happening. And as Darby said the other day, this year didn't come with an instruction manual. And I was thinking about that. Today, and how in a typical year, which every year throws its curveballs, right? P.S. I love when I make sports analogies and use phrases like that, because I don't know anything about most sports. But I know what a curveball is, and most years, or maybe all years, throw us a curveball. But they're usually not so wildly different, right? Each year, this year has just been so wildly different. And when I think about that instruction manual that we didn't get, that instruction manual that we didn't get, and I've been sort of mulling that idea over in my mind, and we kind of did in some way. It was just a little less specific this year. We've had to kind of fill in a lot of holes. It's sort of like those games that you see when every other letter is missing or all the vowels are gone. And you can still read it, right? But it just takes a little bit of effort. This is a song I'm going to start out with by one of my favorite bands, Over the Rhine. If anybody is an Over the Rhine fan out there, please let me know. Love these guys. It's a duo, husband and wife duo. And I saw them open for the Cowboy Junkies years and years ago in Boston. And I had not heard of them before. I had never seen them play. I didn't know who that mystery opening band was, but I always try to get to shows in time to see all the openers. It's always been a great way for me to be introduced to new artists. And in this case, I just absolutely fell in love with Over the Rhine. And they're quite prolific. They have a gazillion records out. This song came out, I want to say it was maybe 2008, so some time ago. But I thought it was appropriate to now. So let me know if you're tuning in, and so I can say hi to you in a proper fashion. And I'll sing you a song. If a song could, oh wait, no, I still have the Camelot song in my head. There we go. If a song could be president, we'd hum on election day. The gospel choir would start to sway, and we'd all have a part to play. The first lady would swing her hips, put a microphone to her lips, break our hearts with rhythm and blues, and Steve Earle would anchor the news. We'd vote for a melody, pass it around on an MP3. All our best foreign policy would be built on harmony. Never son could be president. We'd fly a jukebox to the moon. All our founding fathers' 45s, Lightning Hopkins and Patsy Cline. Never son could be president. If a song could be president, we could all add another verse. Life would teach us to rehearse till we found the key change. Break out of this minor key, half-truths and hypocrisies. We wouldn't need an underachiever in chief if a song could be president. We'd make Neil Young a senator, even though he came from Canada. Emmy Lou would be ambassador. World leaders would listen to her. They would show us where our country went wrong, strum their guitars on the White House lawn. John Prine would run the FBI. All the criminals would laugh and cry. Never song could be president. Just a quick little one from over the Rhine. I love that they mentioned John Prine. We lost him in the COVID crisis earlier this year. Now at over 207,000. I haven't looked at the latest numbers. You know, such a tragic time, such a year of crises upon crises, and also a lot of uplifting things. You know, political uprising, social commentary has been, you know, people have been really active this year, and I wonder, is it because we've been sitting in our homes and consuming, you know, so much news, so much media? If so, I think people are, you know, maybe we all are waking up in some ways more, I hope. People who are going to sleep, I hope that they're waking up in time for the election, and in time to vote. Speaking of which, I'm going to do a couple of these things like I did last week. Check your voter registration. So I am hoping that not only anybody who's tuning in is definitely registered to vote, but I'm also hoping that we can have conversations with the people around us, those 18-year-olds in our households and the young adults who might not know how to register, or, you know, haven't been through a ballot before, don't realize that there's some research involved, perhaps. It's not just the presidential election that is going to be on the ballot, so every state is going to have other things to vote on. And, you know, how can we as adults help the young adults, and also how can we help our friends and neighbors and people in our community who are not able to get to the polls, or who, you know, are feeling apathetic? How can we get them active? So I'll put a couple more of those up over the course of the night. If you are just tuning in, welcome. Thank you for being here. What are you drinking tonight? How are you doing this first couple of days of October? We're in a new month. So, you know, how was September for you? Looking back, earlier today, a group of friends, musician friends, and I get on a call a couple times a week, and you know, just check in with each other and see, you know, what are our goals for the week, what are we working on, what are our struggles, how can we help each other. And today we just kind of did a look back, a reflection on September, and took a moment to, you know, express our frustrations for the things that perhaps didn't go quite right, and also our celebrations for the ways that we've moved forward. So I think that's that reflection. I'm not great at it. You know, a lot of times I kind of skip over that part and just keep moving forward. So I would love to hear about anything that you are celebrating. Shabbat Shalom from Canada. Nice. Shabbat Shalom to you. Where in Canada? Not where in Canada are you? Eastern, western, middle, north, south? I'm gonna guess probably south. Southern side. I'm so glad that I have visited a couple of places in Canada in my lifetime. I have not yet been to the west side of Canada, but I've spent a little bit of time in Montreal and Toronto, and I'm so glad I did, especially Montreal. What a fine city with fine pastries, might I add. So I'm going to start with this song from my new album, Someone Else's Dream. Toronto. Oh, Toronto. Yes. Doro's wife. Toronto. There used to be a little cafe called Say What, C''est in French. Say What. Is that still, I don't know in the time of COVID, but I wonder if that was still around anyway, before COVID. I think they had live music there. This is off my new album, what's the name of the album? 1,000 Tiny Torches. Someone Else's Dream. If you were the woman that you wanted to be, you'd be knee-deep in dirt, combing layers of earth. You'll be digging down through the centuries, making stories out of broken pottery. But you settled down and married young. Now you're looking in the mirror at the woman you've become. And what do you do with someone else's dream? Someone else's life, someone's heart, back in someone else's dream. If you were the woman that you wanted to be, you'll be skidding out the lane before the screen door hits the frame. You'll be steering straight to land you never knew. Buried temples and gods, shaking off your facade. But what kind of woman breaks a decent home? And how do you know if you can make it on your own? And what do you do with someone else's dream? Someone else's life, someone's heart. What can you say when you are caught between who you are and who you thought you'd be? Why do you shove pieces of yourself under the rug? And what do you do with someone else's dream? Someone else's life, someone's heart. What can you say when you back in someone else's dream. Someone else's dream. Back in someone else's dream. That's Someone Else's Dream for my new album, 1,000 Tiny Torches. And that song is, you know, it's about reckoning, and I think that this year is about reckoning. You know, so much has changed this year, really shook up many layers in our culture on a lot of different levels, and you know, I think that this year is a question. It's posed a lot of questions, you know, and one of the questions is, are you living the life that you want to be living? I know a lot of people who have been moving across the country, moving, you know, back to wherever they're from, or leaving where they're from and going somewhere else, and you know, relationships are coming together and breaking apart, and professional lives are changing, and I think it's you know, it's a time when a lot of people are, you know, sitting at home and they're like, oh, wait a second, I don't know that I liked how things were going before so much, you know, and what kind of changes can I make? So, who is here? Say hello, and let me know where you are. You're drinking Irish breakfast tea for dinner. Pretty nice. I am drinking, what kind of tea is this? I think this is just a nondescript black tea, advertised as iced tea. Comes in these giant iced tea bags, and I just brew up, you know, a gallon of it at a time. But it also has a fresh squeezed lemon in it, which is so delicious. So I raised my, essentially an Arnold Palmer, which I think I was struggling with that last week too. Have a hard time saying that. There's some words that are hard to say, like particularly is particularly hard to say, and peculiarly is also really hard to say. So let's get into some trivia, but I don't know who's here watching, so I'm just gonna ask a trivia question, and if you are if you're here, chime in, give us some answers. Let's see if we can get the brain firing a little bit. And also, please do visit that website, ariellesilver.com. Sign up on my mailing list, which is on the music side, and I would love to have you in the fold. I've been writing letters to my mailing list. I think I owe my mailing list a letter next week, so you'll be right on time. So here we go. Members of what movement? Trivia question number 1. Members of what movement chanted, "We are the 99%," as they gathered in New York City's Zuccotti Park to protest U.S. greed and corruption in 2011? I can't believe it was so long ago. So members of what movement? Gosh, I can't believe that was so long ago. 9 years. And I will eagerly await your responses. What should we play tonight? Speaking of a year, let's see if we, I wrote a bunch of new songs at the beginning of this year, and I played them, oops, sorry about the page turning. I played them pretty consistently for a while, and then I sort of wanted to take a little break from them, and now I've been coming back to those songs, and it's interesting how they've, you know, just playing them and then taking a break and then coming back to them, how they're starting to shift a little bit. And I realized that, you know, some of them are kind of back in the cooker. It's kind of like biscotti, speaking of Zuccotti Park. Biscotti, the way that you make it is you make a loaf and you bake it, and then you pull it out of the oven and you slice it and you bake it again. And these songs are kind of like that, like twice baked. So they're going back in the oven now. Occupy Wall Street, ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Robert. I raise my tea to your tea and celebrate that. And this one is appropriate, so I'll just give this trivia question right now. About which day of the week, so you have 1 in 7 chances, about which day of the week did 13-year-old Rebecca Black make a music video that, as of 2017, has racked up over 114 million YouTube views? You don't have to go to YouTube to check this. You have a 1 in 7 chance, and pretty catchy, for better or worse. And meanwhile, I will play this one. This is a new song called Fine by Yourself. I think I played it last week too. When you blink your eyes at the yellow stripe of sunrise through the curtain, when you stretch your limbs in an X across the bed, when you rise without alarm clocks ringing, catch yourself in the kitchen singing, put daffodils and water on the shelf. Ooh, you're doing fine by yourself. When you dust the bike and pump the tires, throw an apple in your bag. When you pedal down some street you never knew. When you notice how the season's turning, notice how your heart's not yearning. In fact, you're feeling rather well. Doing fine by yourself. Funny how you thought the world would end. Strange to find instead. When the day is done and you're back at home with a jelly jar of wine, you're curled up on the sofa with a book. You realize that for all your fears there's a tenderness you're finding here on the flip side of farewell. Thought you'd never live to tell. You're doing fine by yourself. You're doing fine by yourself. Fine by yourself. So when I was on the call this morning with my my little group of musician friends, and we were reflecting back on September and both our accomplishments and our frustrations with our own personal work that month, you know, and then we were looking forward to October and, you know, sort of speaking aloud, what are the projects that we're working on this month? What are we attempting to do? What are we intending to do? What are we already working on? At the end of the call, we kind of all looked at each other on Zoom, of course, and just had this sense among all of us, you know, we're doing okay. We're all doing okay. And Darby and I have, you know, we said that to each other yesterday, and I'm saying it to you too. It's like, what a year without a instruction manual, with so many questions that are asking ourselves, you know, are you living the life that you want to be living? And then also looking out at the world and, you know, what can we do to help the world be a better place? All of the questions that this year is forcing us to think about. we're doing okay. It's October. We're getting by. I know that a lot of folks have experienced a lot of sadness this year, and we're doing okay. And my heart goes out to you, if you're in a tough time right now, but also, we're showing up. We're showing up, and we're all doing the best we can. So I'm glad to have you here. Shelly, hi, nice to see you. Great to have you here. Len, hello. Jalee, hello, hello. Stacy, so nice to see you. And if you're just watching the replay, I hope that you'll say hi as well. So let's just keep playing music. I think that that's sort of the thing. You just gotta keep singing. Whatever the world throws at you, you gotta play, you gotta be in the game, you gotta participate in life, but you can sing while you're doing it. This one might be appropriate. I played this one last week as well. This was a sort of, I would say it's one of the B-sides, but actually I never recorded it, so it's not even a B-side, but our 16-year-old asked me to play it last week, and I pulled it out, and I had so much fun that I'm going to play it again. So here we go. This Place is on Fire. This place is on fire, the rooftop is burning, but babe, I'm so tired, I don't feel like stirring. Watch the flames praising heaven, the wallpaper char, in the chance we survive, this will be covered in scars. This place is on fire, this place is on fire. This place is on fire, so cover your mouth. Don't waste it with kisses, they won't help us now. Save your caresses for happier days. Once we burn all our bridges, we'll see come what may. This place is on fire. This place is on fire. I should know by now our arguments were oil doused. I'm not the fireman to save the day. In bed I'll stay, watch you fan the flames. Now tell me who's to blame. This place is on fire, there's nothing to do. It's a goddamn relief to tell you the truth. What's left of our loving after all of our fights? I will rise from our ashes, I will start a new life. This place is on fire. 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 I'm really enjoying that song. This place is on fire. It also feels, pretty appropriate to the United States right now. A friend from Canada, actually, not where you are, but on the other side, she was posting the other day about how concerned she is about the U.S. elections, and I know how much. Well, I mean, I don't really, but I understand how much airspace the United States politics and elections take up in on the world stage. But there's so much stress and anxiety and overwhelm feeling in the United States right now, that to hear it spilling over into Canada, you know, makes sense. We share a big border. We share a big border with y'all. But this place is on fire. It's funny. I have quite a few songs about fire, and I also have a number of songs about water. And I'm not sure that I have enough songs about earth and air. And I was kind of playing through rehearsing for tonight earlier today, and I was thinking, there's This Place Is on Fire, and then there's What Really Matters, which is on the new album, and then Flame I Should Fear from the last album, and then a few songs about water, both new and old. I thought I should maybe balance that out, and maybe I'll go through a phase of writing about earth and air. But also it would be kind of fun to just do a four elements concert, you know. Cheers. Cheers to you. While we're here, do say hi. Raspin! Nice to see you. Hello, hello. Let me know how you guys are doing. You know, are you wearing shoes? Do you ever wear shoes lately? That's my question right now. And I'm also going to put up that registration check to see if you're registered to vote one more time there. And then this is also a request by mail. I read an article, I think it was yesterday, about TikTok. And I'm not on TikTok myself, but the article was saying that they are doing a huge push to get out the vote and to disseminate information about voting and how to register, absentee voting, all that stuff, which is so great. Because I know our 19-year-old is on TikTok, and you know, I just thought that was really, really great. So there's that. I spent last weekend writing postcards to voters. I need to get some more postcards. But this was a really fun thing, and there are a couple of different postcard organizations. Some of them target, you know, voters of registered voters of all types, and then some of them just target registered voters of your particular party. So I was writing to Democratic voters, because, you know, the way I figure it, I'm not out to, you know, try to change anybody's mind about who they're voting for right now. I feel like a lot of people are decided. The voters that I think are, or the eligible voters that I think are the ones that are really important for us to reach out to, are the ones who are feeling either apathetic or just not really motivated. There are always a couple of obstacles to getting your ballot out, whether it's at the polls or in the mail. And so whatever we can do to help people who already know which candidate they would support, but to help them get to the polls, or help them you know, get their mail-in ballot, or help them understand how to vote. So I think that's a really important place to put our efforts. You know, apathy is a marketing political tactic to suppress voters. So, you know, by sowing seeds of apathy or confusion, you know, that's one way to keep voters from casting their ballot. And I believe that everybody's voice really matters. So I'll just leave that at postcards to voters. And let's see here. What are shoes? That's so funny. Yes, what are shoes? Let's give you another trivia question. What Republican congressman, speaking of politics, what Republican congressman from Ohio replaced Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House in 2011, promising the Democrats openness? This was in 2011. What Republican congressman from Ohio replaced Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, promising the Democrats openness? So there's that. And I'm going to stay with the fire theme now, and and play a song from my older album, Something Pretty Something True. By the way, if you have been listening and enjoying, I do hope that you will join my mailing list, which is Arielle. It's at ariellesilver.com. But actually, I should have put this one up, because the mailing list sign up is directly there. So ariellesilver.com or ariellesilvermusic.com, and you can find it at ariellesilver.com as well. But so this is from Something Pretty Something True. I would love to hear if you have anything you're celebrating from the month of September. This is Flame I Should Fear. And if you don't have this album, you can find it on all the streaming platforms. We understand each other, this moth and me. We've each got our vices illogically. I'm lighting the lamp, I'm calling it near. The flickering flame to a flame it should fear. You lower the lamp when I come by, so you are the brightest thing around, catching my eye. My will to protest only mimics my fear. Toward the heat of your fire, or the flame I should fear. I know I'll be weeping. I know I should hide, but I'm so sick of sleeping, and my bed is so wide. I cannot control my fascination with the beautiful danger of the situation. A tango too close, I'm calling you here. A chance and a fiery dance with a flame I should feel. Flame I should feel. Oh, flame I should feel. Oh, firefly, flicker, flame, light a match. Firefly, flicker, flame, light a match. Oh, firefly, flicker, flame, light a match, light a match, make a match, make a make me. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a fiery match. Find me a bind, catch me, a firefly, flicker flame. A firefly, flicker flame, light a match. Firefly, flicker flame, light a match. Firefly, flicker flame, light a match. Flame I should, flame I should, flame I should. Yeah, John Boehner. Is the answer to the question. Thank you, Robert. So that was Flame I Should Fear, and a friend of mine was surprised to hear that when I went to music school, I I went out on a clarinet scholarship. She was like, "What clarinet?" So yeah, I'm a clarinet player, and that song "Flame I Should Fear" has clarinet all over it. And that whole album actually has a lot of clarinet on it. I recorded that album and released it on a small label outside of or out of Boston, and co-produced it with a composer based in Boston, Chris Florio. And he's a multi instrumentalist himself. And we just, recording an album, it sometimes is fun, and sometimes it's not fun, and sometimes it's like you're kind of at your wit's end, like frustrated. You don't know where to go with this song or what you're doing. And other times it's just like flow. It's just the creative process. But overall, we were working together, I want to say over 2 years. We recorded 2 albums together, plus some of his own compositions. And, overall, I look back on that time as just being a total blast. Every Thursday night, I would make my way to his side of town from my side of town, usually come in right after work or something, and we would just work on those records till the wee hour of the nights. And his wife, Helen Weatherall, is this multi-talented artist. She's a writer and a sculptor, and also very politically active in the local scene where they live. And she would inevitably come down at some point in time with a big bowl of popcorn, and I'd be starved. It was just like, it was like manna from heaven, popcorn from Helen. When I look back on this year, the beginning, March, April, gosh, I was so depressed. I know I'm not the only one who can reflect back on that time. And, I had to, just kind of create some rules for myself in order to lift myself up, in order to not just want to lie in bed all the time. And one of the rules was, rule slash guideline, maybe that's a better word, or, maybe, so I had a list of things that would help lift my mood. And one of those things was put on earrings, get dressed, and put on lipstick. And, when in March and April and May, I would wake up some days just so down, and I would put on some bright lipstick and earrings, and I was surprised at how that lifted my mood. And I was also surprised today to look at my favorite lipstick and realize that I am, in this time when I have barely left the house for 7 months, nearly out of lipstick. I gotta replenish my lipstick. What has surprised you during this time of your own stuff? Those things like not wearing shoes, putting on lipstick. Like, what are the things that you have, those little things that, you never thought twice about before this year, but this year, something kind of different, surprised you? I'm kind of curious. Let's see here. I'm going to play, I eagerly await your responses to that, but I'm going to play another song from the new album, 1,000 Tiny Torches. This is the song that gave the album its name. I like to take album names from a lyric inside a song rather than the name of the song, although my third album was the name of a song also. But this lyric comes from this song, and it refers to the fireflies. When I was working on this song, I was out in Pennsylvania. We don't have fireflies here in Los Angeles. I'll wait till that plane goes over. But this is called The Calling. trains in the distance. We'll hear that whistle blow. We'll see it slipping like a serpent beneath the sunset glow. And further out, the clouds are building up a storm. They're throwing bolts of lightning. They say it's gonna pour, and someone's calling someone. I can hear the neighbors ring. But no one's calling me. I turned up all the lamps. Like a lighthouse at the bay. We'll tip an empty bottle to another lonely day. And off the porch in the clover, beyond the throw of light, the fireflies are blinking, the coming of the night, like 1,000 tiny torches on a broken down marquee. No one's calling me. Well, that train knows where it's going. If you make it back around, I'll be sitting in the porch light on the lonely side of town. Closer now, the clouds. It's really gonna pour. It's rumbling with thunder, like the coming of the Lord. And someone's calling someone. Can almost hear that choir sing. No one's calling me. No one's calling me. Calling. I thank you so much for being here, for showing up, whatever Fridays you're able to make it. I've been doing these every week for the last 26 weeks. And on Thursdays for the last 22 weeks, I've been hosting an interview show where I talk with other songwriters. Yesterday I was talking with Julie Halstead, who is she was just nominated for a Boston Music Award. And we had a wonderful, very delightful conversation. Every week it's something different, but we talk about books and we play songs and inevitably talk about how we're making it through this year and the creative process and, you know, whatever else is on our mind. And between the Thursday show, which is called Tomes and Tunes, a songwriter friend from Austin, Harriet Reynolds, she gave it that name, Tomes and Tunes, because we talk about books and songs. Between the Thursday show and this show, Arielle's Acoustic Happy Hour every Friday night, you know, it's a crazy thing to think that I have played, you know, what is that? 48 shows, twice weekly, despite all the venues closing down this year. And, you know, I entered 2020 really wanting to perform, wanting to sing my songs and work them out and connect with people. And, you know, it's pretty amazing. You know, and this technology was always here. So that's the part that I find really interesting. You know, sometimes we just need something to kind of push us. Let's see here. I think my capo is there in the right spot. I'm gonna do one more song tonight and then call it a night. And let's see here. Let's see if there's another. Oh, if you want to take some political action, activist positions, ResistBot is really fun. And whenever you feel like it, it doesn't bother you on text. You can just text and it can take you in different directions depending on, you know, what kind of letter you want to send to your representatives. It, based on your address, will be able to just send it directly. You can write in support of the U.S. Postal Service. You know, you can write in support of, you know, whatever issues are important to you. So ResistBot is something that I've been super enjoying ever since 2016 when I think that's when it was started. So resist to 50409 and just text that, resist to 50409. And let's see here. Thank you so much for all your hearts and claps. I see them. They make me feel really great. I appreciate you being here. And if you haven't said hi yet in any of the chats, please do. It's so great to see you. I'm going to end with this song. I'll give you one more trivia question before we end. Let's see here. And let me know if you have any requests for next week. Okay. Which Adele album spawned the hit singles Rolling in the Deep and Someone Like You, which she movingly performed at the VMA Awards in 2011. So what's the name of that Adele album? You are so welcome. Thank you for being here on these Friday evenings with me. Here we are in October, and you know, we're just making our way through. Trying to give our lives some meaning and joy. Ooh, 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 oh. Ooh, 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 oh. Stood out in the cold, the end of an old year. A sprinkling of snow, a noisemaker blow. Your face reflected gold and red. You lit your cigarette, and for a second you were light. And I could navigate your sky, steer through 1,000 storied miles, sail through miracles and never saw spring, you never stopped drinking. I searched in the dark, stayed looking too long. I saw your spark, it's thought of stars that shine 10 billion years. Just for a second, you were light, and I could navigate your sky, steer through 1,000 storied miles, sail through miracles and trials. You were light, all our uncharted waters clear, all of our faults and fractured nights were beautified. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You were light. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I saw your spark and thought of stars that shine 10 billion years. 'Cause for a second, you were light, and I could navigate your sky, steer through 1,000 storied miles, sail through miracles and trials. You were light, all our uncharted waters clear, all of our faults and fractured nights were beautified. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You were light. 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 You Were Light. That's from 1,000 Tiny Torches. That's the first track off the album. I hope that you like it. I hope you've heard it. And you can find it, of course, everywhere you listen to music, on my website and everything. And please, I hope that you will join my mailing list if you are not on it. Here's a better, any of those links you can get to it, but this link that I just put in the chat box, that will take you to my mailing list, and you can see some videos and link to music and all kinds of stuff. Also, P.S. I opened a yoga studio, online yoga studio, this month. Actually, it was September, so it is 1 month old, called Bhavana Flow Yoga. You can get to it from that link as well, which is crazy. If you practice yoga or if you're curious about it, come practice with me. Darby and I teach, and it's fantastic. So anyway, speaking of yoga, that last song, the idea behind it is, the idea of namaste, which is the light in me sees the light in you. Thank you so much for being here on Friday night, sharing your evening with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Be safe this week. Make sure that you're registered to vote, and please fill out your ballots when they start to arrive in the mail, or make your plan to go to the polls. I will see you next Thursday for Tomes and Tunes with my guest, Amelia Spicer, a Los Angeles songwriter. She's so awesome. Can't wait to talk with her. And next Friday for Arielle's Acoustic Happy Hour. Mark, I see you. Thanks for being here. I hope you catch the replay. And thank you guys all. Take good care. Bye-bye.